There comes a moment when the world falls silent around you, and all that remains is the echo of your own heart breaking. The noise of life fades. The voices that used to guide you disappear. The light that once led your way turns dim, and you realize that pain has stripped everything away until you are left alone with yourself. That is the moment many people fear most, when there's no distraction, no comfort, no escape. But hidden in that silence is something sacred, something only revealed when everything else is gone. You see, pain is not just a wound. It's an unveiling. It pulls away the layers of who you thought you were, revealing who you truly are beneath the ruins. When you reach the end of your pain, you stand at the threshold of rebirth. Like the earth after a storm, you are scarred but fertile, ready for new life to take root in the cracks of your brokenness. Romans 8:28 says, "All things work together for good for those who love Him." That doesn't mean every wound feels good or that every loss makes sense. It means that even the unbearable moments are part of something being shaped within you, a strength that could not be forged any other way. In the depths of your suffering, you start to see things differently. You stop chasing the approval that never filled you. You stop begging for what was never meant to stay. You stop pretending to be whole when you are not. And in that rawness, you finally tell the truth. I am broken, I am hurting, I am lost. That truth is not weakness, it's surrender. And surrender is the birthplace of strength, because only when you stop fighting what is can you begin to rise into what will be. The presence, the quiet, mysterious hand that holds the universe, has always been there, waiting for you to stop running long enough to be found. Psalm 34:18 whispers, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." When everything in you feels shattered, that's when you are nearest to the one who mends. Think of the seed buried deep in the soil. To the untrained eye, it looks like death. Darkness, silence, pressure. But underneath, transformation begins. The outer shell breaks open. The roots reach downward before the stem dares to rise. The breaking is not the end, it is the beginning. You are like that seed. Every pain that buries you is not meant to destroy you, but to prepare you. When you finally reach the point where you say, "I can't take it anymore," you are closer than ever to the place where strength awakens. Because true strength is not built from comfort. It is carved from the moments that could have ended you, but didn't. It's born when your heart has been emptied of all illusions and filled instead with resilience, humility, and quiet hope. You might not feel that hope now. You might only feel the ache, the exhaustion, the numbness that follows too many days of trying, but the presence hasn't abandoned you. The one who shaped your soul out of dust is not startled by your despair. Isaiah 41:10 reminds us, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you." Those are not words written for the strong. They were breathed for the broken, for the ones who have reached the edge and found nothing left to give. You may think this is the end, but it's only the point where you stop relying on your own power and begin to draw from something eternal. There's a strange beauty in rock bottom. When you are stripped of everything, pride, control, expectation, you begin to see what's real. The laughter of a child, the warmth of sunlight, the comfort of someone who doesn't try to fix you but simply sits beside you. Pain makes you notice again. It slows you down until you can hear the whisper beneath the chaos. That quiet voice saying, "You are still here." And if you are still here, it means your story isn't over. It means the light has not left you. It means there's more to become, even if you cannot yet see what that looks like. Sometimes the most powerful prayer isn't, "Make it stop," but "Help me endure it." Because the truth is, not every storm will pass quickly. Some pain lingers. Some nights stretch on longer than they should. But as you breathe through it, as you keep walking through the valley of shadows, something inside you changes. You begin to realize that surviving itself is a kind of victory, that holding on, even with trembling hands, is an act of faith, that every tear, every unanswered question, every moment you chose not to give up was building a quiet kind of power within you, the kind that doesn't boast, doesn't need applause, but stands firm in the face of everything that tried to break you. And one day, without even realizing when it happened, you will look back and see that the pain that once felt unbearable has become the foundation of who you are. You will see that it didn't destroy you, it refined you. Like gold passed through fire, you will shine differently. Not with the brightness of perfection, but with the depth of someone who has seen darkness and still believes in light. There will come a moment when you begin to see that the pain was not your enemy after all. It was the teacher you never asked for, but the one you most needed. It stripped away the layers that hid your truth and forced you to look at what was underneath. The fear, the need for control, the deep loneliness you tried to ignore. Pain brings honesty. It exposes what comfort conceals. And in that honesty, you find a strange kind of peace because you no longer have to pretend to be fine. You can simply be real. That's where healing starts. Not in denial, not in pretending everything happens for a reason, but in the quiet acceptance that life hurts and yet still holds beauty within its bruises. When you stop resisting what broke you, you begin to feel the pulse of life moving through the cracks, gentle but steady, whispering that you are not finished yet. The presence of pain does not mean the absence of purpose. Sometimes what feels like destruction is really transformation in disguise. Think about how glass becomes smooth only after being tumbled by waves, or how metal is strengthened by fire. It's the same with your soul. The heat, the pressure, the breaking, none of it is wasted. Every season of suffering is shaping something eternal inside you. You might not see it now, but one day when the ache has softened and the nights have grown lighter, you'll look back and realize that strength was being born in the very moments you thought you were dying. That's why Romans 5:3-4 says, "We glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope." Hope is not something you find when life is easy. It's what grows in the soil of pain, watered by your tears and warmed by the fire that tried to consume you. And while you walk through that fire, there will be times when you wonder if the presence still sees you. When the silence stretches too long, when the prayers go unanswered, when you wake up and still feel the same ache pressing on your chest, you might think the one who promised to be near has turned away. But that silence is not abandonment. It is a space for transformation. Like the darkness in a cocoon, it's where the unseen work takes place, where faith becomes real, not because you can see the outcome, but because you choose to believe in the unseen hand that still holds you. Isaiah 43:2 says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned." That is not a promise that the waters want to rise. It is the assurance that you will not drown in them. At some point, you begin to understand that strength isn't about never breaking. It's about learning to bend without losing your center. It's about being able to say, "I am hurting, but I am still here." Real strength doesn't roar. It whispers. It doesn't demand attention. It simply endures. And as it grows within you, you find that you can stand quietly in the face of storms, not because the storm is smaller, but because the anchor inside you has grown deeper. You've learned to stop fighting for what you can't control, to stop chasing what is left, and to trust that even in loss, something sacred remains. In time, the world around you begins to shift. The small moments that once felt ordinary start to shimmer with meaning. A sunrise breaking through the fog, the laughter of someone you love, the peace of a slow breath after a long night of tears. These are signs that healing has begun. Not the kind that erases the past, but the kind that redeems it. Pain changes the way you see. It makes you gentler with others, more compassionate, more patient. You begin to notice the hurting ones, the ones hiding behind polite smiles, the ones quietly carrying their own unseen battles, and something inside you reaches out to them. That's what true strength looks like. Not the absence of weakness, but the willingness to hold space for it, in yourself and in others. When you finally reach the end of your pain, you don't return to who you were before. You emerge different, softer, wiser, more alive. You no longer chase perfection, because you've learned that being human is wholly enough. You no longer run from suffering, because you've seen that even in the dark, there is purpose. You begin to trust the slow unfolding of your life, even when it doesn't follow your plans, because you have felt the presence in the depths, the quiet mercy that never left you, the love that held you when everything else fell away. That's the kind of knowing that cannot be taught. It can only be lived. So, if you find yourself standing at the edge right now, weary and worn, wondering if you have anything left, remember this: the end of your pain is not the end of you. It's the beginning of a strength you've never known. Let the tears fall, let the silence stay, let the breaking do its sacred work. For beyond the breaking, there is becoming. Beyond the ending, there is renewal. And beyond the pain, there is the quiet, steady truth that you were never alone.